Hello Internet! It's vlog time. I know this D&D stuff was only supposed to take a month, but some stuff has happened and... Anyway, today I wanted to start off by reading you a letter from my DM. It goes, "Dear everyone, my bad. Love, Tsuki's DM." Seriously, that's what he wrote. Now we're gonna get to the meat of today's vlog. My DM and I have gone through a lot of races and classes and things that you need to know in order to pick a character. So now we're going to go through the basic stats that every character has. Like we said before, I'm not going to go into any specific spells or anything. This is just general. This is just the basic information that you're going to want to know in order to actually play the game. First things first, if you're going to follow along, you're going to need to know what a character sheet looks like. And luckily for you, I have a link to one, so if you just click right there, then we will be on our way. Clicked it? Alright, cool. Just pull it to the side or do that thing where you like make the YouTube video pop out. Or just listen to me. Whatever. Follow along with me, because this is going to be really necessary for me and my DM's part, okay? I'm going to go over the ability scores in the top left corner, and my DM is going to cover, well, pretty much everything else. Because if I try, then it will be the longest vlog ever in existence, and no. So, without further ado, we're going to start with ability scores. Every ability score is going to start out with a base of 10 to start with, and the lowest you can have on any particular score would be an 8. 10 is a base level because that's what is considered for an average human. So being able to lift, say, 100 pounds could give you a strength score of a 10, which is the average strength of a human, etc., etc. So the first one is strength, usually abbreviated STR. Pretty obvious. This is your character's physical strength. Melee attacks done in face-to-face combat, are usually reliant on a high strength score. Your strength score is going to determine your raw ability to lift things or move stuff or break things down or hit things or really anything in the category that would involve using your fists or your hands. Next is Constitution, otherwise known as CON, Con. This is your stamina. This is your ability to withstand things. This is linked really directly to your HP, your health points. Higher Constitution will usually mean higher HP. Constitution also plays heavily into your Fortitude. Basically means how you deal with poisons and the like. Next is Dexterity, aka DEX, Dex. This is your hand-eye coordination, reflexes, and general agility. Ranged attacks and attacks that require finesse are usually tied to Dexterity. As you can imagine, your Dexterity modifier is going to come into play anytime you want to do something awesome, like jump onto a dragon's back, or leap out of a falling building, or it all depends on your dex modifier. Intelligence, otherwise known as INT, int, it's your book smarts. Higher intelligence is generally indicative of like book smarts. This is usually tied to arcane abilities because if you're going to be a wizard, then you're going to spend a lot of time studying how to do spells and stuff. And as a result, studying for years and years to become a good wizard will increase your intelligence. Wisdom, sometimes regrettably known as WIS or Wiz. Wisdom and intelligence are two completely different things. While intelligence may be your book smarts, wisdom is more like your street smarts, your world-wise knowledge. Wiz is your common sense, your ability to reason. It's also your self-discipline and empathy as well. So attacks that might be considered holy, like ones that a cleric would use, will probably rely more heavily on your Wiz modifier than your int modifier. And finally we have Charisma, CHA, or Ka, which is exactly what it sounds like. Higher Charisma doesn't always make your character pretty, and lower doesn't necessarily mean that they're ugly. A character with higher Charisma might be a little bit more suave or more intimidating than your average, and a one with a lower score might be somebody that you'd consider a wallflower or a socially awkward person. It doesn't play into looks in the way that most people think it does. If a warlord has a high charisma, which they usually should, it means that he's generally good at like rallying his troops. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's David Tennant. Though he could be. I'd be okay with that. If you'll notice, there's a lot of other stuff on that sheet, and I know it looks intimidating, and a little bit like it's way too much work, but I promise my DM is going to go over the rest of it. This is, I think, a pretty good start. And like I said, next week, or soon, you know, well, we've got a little surprise for you to round off our little D&D sessions. Well, at least I have a surprise. Oh, and don't forget to visit my DM's blog right there. He's got the rest of the stuff on there, and he's also got some other really super awesome stuff too. He's just, in general, he's a good writer, so you may as well just scroll through it all. It's interesting. I like it. Anyway, that's it. See you next week. Today I learned that green is not a creative color.